Hello, fabulous people. How did life treat you this week? Hopefully, as serene and productive as a cat napping on a sunny windowsill. Me? Oh, just basking in the glow of our latest triumph. 100 videos uploaded and counting. Can you guys believe it? It feels like just yesterday I was fumbling with my computer settings, and now we're hitting milestones like it's nobody's business. Cheers to progress, folks. We have now set ourselves a new target, and which is to ensure that we reach 3,000 subscribers by the end of March. Can we do it? Well, only time will tell. But I tell you what, though, it's not as much of a challenge as it was when we first started, because at the moment, we are just a mere 277 subscribers away from making that dream a reality. So, if you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, what are you waiting on? Hit the subscribe button, join the club, my friends. It's very worth it. Let's do this. A big shout out to all of you who have been with me since the beginning. Your support means the world to me, and I am forever grateful for each and every one of you. All right, let's dive into this week's royal news. It's been quite the roller coaster ride, correct? There has been so much happening, but one story really caught my attention. If you know my channel, you might have guessed which story that might have been by now. But of course, you will see it in the title of the video. So it's not that much of a mystery. But of course, if you are going to guess without seeing the title of the video, if you know my channel well, I think you might guess which one of those stories would interest me the most. For me, it's Prince Harry's being granted access to the Leveson inquiry document for his case against the Daily Mail story, which grabbed my attention. Word on the street is these confidential documents will be a game changer in Harry's battle against the Daily Mail. Why? Let's see. These documents reportedly reveal payments made to private investigators by the Daily Mail and Mail on Sunday, implicating them in phone hacking and unlawful information gathering. In a bold move, the ministers who released these documents emphasized that they do not see any necessity in withholding this crucial information from further disclosure or publication. They decided that they would be lifting the restriction order solely for the purposes of the proceedings. In November, Associated newspapers vehemently opposed the release of these documents, arguing that they had been supplied to the Leveson inquiry in confidence, and the judge at the time upheld that argument. But the government had a right to waive that confidentiality, and on Friday, acting on a request from the prince and the other complainants in the case, it did just that, turning that significant victory for the mail into what might now be called a victory for the prince. And kudos to the government for finally lifting the lid on those secrets. It's like they're saying, enough is enough. Let's spill the beans and see what happens. This intervention is like throwing gasoline on an already fiery legal bonfire. Popcorn, anyone? Anyway, Associated Newspapers' opposition of the release of these documents contradicts their early denial of the allegations brought by Prince Harry and the other claimants. They had even sought to dismiss the claims partly on the grounds that the necessary documents were sealed. Hmm. I guess they didn't anticipate that the government would approve the release of the document, right? At this point in time, I think that they would also be in a very difficult position because they have denied the allegations, and yet documents are going to be provided, which is going to disprove their earlier claims of not being guilty of what Prince Harry has alleged. Associated newspapers, in their bid to dodge Prince Harry's accusations, like a cat dodging a bath, tried to pull the old time limit for legal action card, but the government just dropped a bombshell by greenlighting the release of those Leveson inquiry documents. And let me tell you, it's about to get hotter than a chili pepper in a sauna. Prince Harry might as well have said, and the truth shall set you free. To put it simply, The Daily Mail and Piers Morgan are cooked. Before we continue, if you're new here, please click the subscribe button. If you're a returning viewer who hasn't subscribed, smash the subscribe button. Honestly, it helps to grow the channel. And to all those who have subscribed, thank you so much. Now, let's continue. Despite Prince Harry's setback in the security case with the Home Office and accruing hefty legal bills, winning the right to rely on these documents in his upcoming case with the Daily Mail has given him the key he needs to win this case against the Daily Mail. So, what's the deal though with the details that were shared in the Leveson 2 inquiry that's poised to take down the media? I've already delved into this topic in a previous video earlier this year, and I'll leave a link to it in the comment section and the description box for those who want more details. But for those who haven't been following closely, here's a brief summary of why these documents are so critical to Prince Harry's case and why they spell trouble for the media industry and Piers Morgan. But to figure it all out, let's rewind a bit. In early 2009, Piers Morgan admitted on the UK program Desert Island Discs that he knew about and had participated in phone hacking. However, after revelations emerged that Rupert Murdoch's journalist had hacked the phone of murdered schoolgirl Millie Dowler, his tune changed. Evidence shows that the Daily Mirror had published an article based on phone hacking a decade earlier during Piers Morgan's tenure as editor. This places us in 1997, 2 years before the article in question was published. So, logically, there is no way that Piers Morgan, ordinarily without manipulation from any quarter, should be able to get away with saying that he did not know what was happening in the Daily Mirror. Let me take you back to the beginning where it all began. It all started in early 1998 when an Irish Mirror journalist uncovered a significant security flaw, allowing access to the mobile phones of senior Irish politicians, including the former Prime Minister of the Republic of Ireland, Bertie Ahern. Despite the revelation, there was no ensuing phone hacking scandal in Ireland, highlighting the vulnerability of mobile phone messages due to default passwords that were rarely changed because the journalist in question wrote the article for the benefit of the people in Ireland, and based on his article, the politicians in Ireland were able to take actions to protect themselves. Hmm. The revelations about the security flaws in the Irish mobile phones were conspicuously absent from the English and Welsh editions of the Daily Mirror, despite its potential impact on the wider British audience, particularly those of Irish descent. This omission sparked concerns about the security of British mobile phones given their potential similarity to Irish devices. Highlighting the strong connections between the Irish Mirror and the paper's headquarters in London's Canary Wharf, Craig Mackenzie, brother of Mirror Group Deputy Chief Executive Kelvin Mackenzie, oversaw the Irish edition. Kelvin Mackenzie, known for his tenure as editor of The Sun, had a history with Piers Morgan, who began his career on the paper in the late 1980s. So picture this, it's August 1999. And Welsh sales manager Stephen Knott decides to spill the beans to the Daily Mirror about some major security issues with mobile phones. He's like the whistleblower of the century, revealing that the standard Vodafone 3333 PIN number is about as secure as a cardboard fort in a hurricane. He discussed the matter with Mirror Special Projects editor Ona Blackman, informing her that failure to change the standard Vodafone 3333 PIN number allowed anyone to dial in and access messages. Intrigued, Ona Blackman showed enthusiasm, but after 12 days, she informed Knott that the paper wasn't interested. Subsequently, the paper sent him a £100 check stating it was related to a mobile phone scandal. Not later told the Leveson inquiry, I accused the Daily Mirror of keeping the phone hacking method for themselves. In addition to the Irish Mirror story, there's evidence suggesting that the paper's journalists were deeply involved in illegal news gathering tactics, including phone hacking. At the heart of this operation was senior reporter Gary Jones and his affiliation with a corrupt private detective firm. Jones formerly a crime reporter for News of the World during Piers Morgan's editorship in 1994 to 1995, earned accolades such as the Press Gazette Reporter of the Year award in 1995 for breaking stories like anonymous calls from Princess Diana. This particular scoop drew attention from Rupert Murdoch, who admired controversies challenging the British establishment. The worldwide exclusive stemmed from a leaked Scotland Yard investigation report suggesting that Piers Morgan likely sanctioned a substantial payment to a retired senior police officer for access to the report. Following Morgan's appointment as Daily Mail editor in 1995, Jones joined him the following year. By October 1997, Jones played a crucial role in orchestrating the paper's covert activities, enlisting the controversial detective agency Southern Investigations to unlawfully obtain information. Headed by Jonathan Rees, a suspect in his partner Daniel Morgan's murder, this agency was linked to Morgan's tenure at News of the World. Despite suspicions surrounding his connection to Rees, Fillery, a former detective, was also involved. Together, these two were cooking up more scandals than a reality TV show marathon. Phone hacking? Check. Illegally obtained mortgage details? You betcha. They were like a dynamic duo of deception, and they've got the headlines to prove it. Southern Investigations provided Jones and the Mirror with numerous exclusives. Evidence from Scotland Yard's anti corruption operation, Two Bridges, revealed the agency's involvement in illicit activities. For instance, phone hacking potentially influenced an exclusive on Kirsty Young's relationship, while mortgage details were acquired illegally for an article exposing members of the Interest Rate Committee. Invoices disguised as confidential inquiries often contained partial telephone numbers, hinting at the extent of corruption between Jones and Rees. By the way, this Gary Jones that we're talking about here is the current editor of the Daily Express, another major tabloid in the UK and one of the major papers that make up the Royal Rota. Significant altercation occurred between these two men in July 1999, underscoring the depth of their corrupt relationship. After private investigators Rees and Fillery were investigated by the police for an unrelated matter, leading to Rees being sentenced to 7 years in prison and revelations surfacing about News of the World reporters hacking the voicemail of murder victim Millie Dowler, Prime Minister David Cameron announced a public inquiry chaired by Lord Justice Leveson on July 13, 2011, under the Inquiries Act 2005. So, what was the Leveson inquiry supposed to do? A 14 September 2011 press release stated that part one of the Leveson inquiry would be addressing the culture, practices, and ethics of the press, including contacts between the press and politicians and the press and the police. It is to consider the extent to which the current regulatory regime has failed and whether there has been a failure to act upon any previous warnings about media conduct. Part two was supposed to deal with the extent of unlawful or improper conduct within News International, other media organizations, and other organizations. It was also supposed to consider the extent to which any relevant police force investigated allegations relating to News International and whether the police received corrupt payments or were otherwise complicit in misconduct. And so we can see how far reaching part two of the Leveson inquiry was, and therefore we can now understand why Murdoch has been doing everything he can to avoid Leveson 2. During the Leveson 1 inquiry, journalist James Hipwell provided testimony regarding phone hacking during his tenure at the paper from 1998 to 2000. As a financial journalist working closely with the paper's showbiz reporters, he revealed that hacking was not only common but openly practiced. He described it as a bog standard journalistic tool for gathering information. But here's where things get really interesting. While Hipwell might not have had concrete evidence implicating the big cheese himself, Piers Morgan, he had some serious doubts when he was asked whether he thought Piers Morgan knew whether phone hacking was going on at the Daily Mirror. I mean, come on. Pierce was the kingpin, the big cheese, the head honcho at Daily Mirror, he said. Nothing happened without his say so. And if you ask Hipwell, there was no way Pierce did not know what was going down. And just when you thought it couldn't get any crazier, enter Operation Golden, a Scotland Yard investigation into phone hacking at the Mirror Group that had everyone sweating bullets. Piers Morgan and his merry band of journalists were questioned under caution. Based on the phone hacking scenes of way back when, in May 2023, Mr. Justice Mann ordered the Mirror Group to pay £1.2 million in damages to 8 victims, 6 of whom were victims during Piers Morgan's tenure, such as actress Sadie Frost and footballer Paul Gascoigne. And if that wasn't enough to make your jaw drop, get this, the Mirror papers admitted to shelling out over 2.25 million to shady private investigators from 2000 to 2007. This, my friends, is the juicy bit as far as Prince Harry's case is concerned. These invoices, which have already been verified to be linked to phone hacking, are what Prince Harry was after. We have a few examples of the description of some of the invoices. Let's have a look. So, in August 2011, Robert Peston, then the BBC's economic editor, obtained a set of these invoices. His calculations revealed that the Mirror papers had engaged Rees of the Southern Investigations Private Agency on 230 occasions between October 1997 and September 1999, amounting to a total cost of £67,000. Some of these searches yielded information for articles, while others were likely fishing expeditions conducted merely to uncover intriguing details. And if that wasn't enough to make your jaw drop, hold on to your hats because we're about to uncover some serious political scandal, right? In December 1998, Gary Jones put in a request for dirt on Peter Mandelson. He was the former trade minister at the time, and let me tell you, it's a game changer. Peston reports that Rees delivered the goods, including the mortgage details and savings account of the trade minister, for the tidy sum of £1,116. Now, fast forward to today, and these documents are like a smoking gun pointed straight at the Daily Mail's heart. They provide clear evidence of phone hacking and shady dealings. And Piers Morgan? Well, let's just say his testimony during the Leveson inquiry isn't looking so hot right now. Cue the sweat beads. Have you guys noticed that the reference to Prince Harry has slightly changed in the last couple of days, especially since the release of the court documents from his case regarding his security against the Home Office? You now have people saying things like, wow, we might not like Prince Harry and Meghan. No one can deny that they are good at their job. You also have people on Jeremy Vine saying, I know people here don't like Prince Harry, but I like him. And while I think it was wrong for him to have ratted out the royal family, I think it is wrong for him to be denied security, especially considering that he's a veteran who has laid his life down for the country. Hmm. This, my friends, is what is quite interesting to me. Against the backdrop of the huge win anticipated when Prince Harry wins the case against the Daily Mail, we now see that Prince Harry's case against the Home Office regarding his security is minor in comparison. It's anticipated that this case against the Daily Mail will proceed to a hearing early next year. And with the government giving the green light to release this incriminating document, you can bet that the Daily Mail will be scrambling to make things right as soon as they can. I am totally anticipating that they would have made a settlement offer to Prince Harry, or will be making a settlement offer to Prince Harry before the end of March. Prince Harry, driven by the desire to reform media practices rather than financial gain, may incorporate a Leveson 2 inquiry into the settlement agreement or propose reforms derived from such an inquiry. And just as a reminder, I will put the outline of what the Leveson 2 inquiry entails once more for your viewing pleasure. In part two, we're supposed to deal with the extent of unlawful or improper conduct within News International, other media organizations, and other organizations. It was also supposed to consider the extent to which any relevant police force investigated allegations relating to News International and whether the police received corrupt payments or were otherwise complicit in misconduct. Major shakeup is coming, folks. In other words, winter is coming. As for NGN, publishers of the Sun newspaper, their case also relies heavily on these documents. It's probable they'll seek to settle with Prince Harry as well, but meeting the terms of his settlement offer is what is in question. And I anticipate that it will also include that they hand over anything incriminating that they hold over the royal family. And that may make the settlement a bit more difficult. But the question is, do they have a choice? Now, it's no secret that the relationship between the royal family and the media has been on rocky ground lately, and Prince Harry's legal crusade is only adding fuel to the fire. Despite their best efforts, it seems that the palace just can't put the brakes on Harry's pursuit for justice. And you know what? That's actually a good thing. It's a sign that progress is being made and the tide might finally be turning in favor of accountability and transparency. I can't believe that the royal family are so dumb that they can't see how Prince Harry winning the case will benefit them. Now, when it comes to those pesky smear campaigns, I have got a feeling that we might be seeing some resolution sooner rather than later. I'm talking about settlements with the Daily Mail, the Sun, and all their cronies. It's time for them to put their money where their mouth is and own up to their mistakes. And I fully expect to see them own up to their mistakes. I really do. Call me too optimistic. But hey, these are just my 2 cents. I want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think? Do you think the media will finally see the light and offer Prince Harry a settlement? And what about Prince Harry himself? Do you think he'll use his newfound leverage to shake up the media landscape and demand some serious reforms? And as for our pal, Piers Morgan, will he finally face the music and get his comeuppance? It's a lot to chew on, I know, but hey, that's why we're here to dissect, discuss, and debate. So let's keep the conversation going in the comments below. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe for all the latest updates, deep dive analytics. Smash that like button and ring the notification bell. Until next time, this is Wheezy signing out. Bye. Bye.